Hi, it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and I'm here today to share my May works in progress. I've got some fun things to share with you today, some things that I've finished up that you haven't seen, and a couple things that are kind of sneak peeks, but just wanted to let you know that I have been working really hard behind the scenes on them, and a really fun work in progress project to show you that's going to be finished very soon. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to share, I had actually been wanting to make this Brickyard double zip pouch by Chrissy Lux of Sew Luxe Fabric. I've been wanting to, we'll link the pattern in the description, but I've been wanting to make this actually for quite a little while. It was part of the Moda Pouch Club, and I had these cute zipper pulls that I wanted to use on a pouch, and I thought this would be really fun. It's a really nice size pouch. I think the finished size 7 by 10, which I feel like is a really nice pouch size, and I love that it has this outer zipper pocket so you can put stuff out here. The fabrics are from our Laguna Sunrise collection, and then it also has a big inside pocket. So yeah, this was really fun, just something I made for myself, and I feel like I love doing bag patterns, but I also love sewing other people's bag patterns. And I think what drew me to this was kind of the Brickyard finishing, which actually you could do a design like that on any pouch that you wanted to. So anyway, super excited to have this finished up so I can put it in my purse. I feel like it'll be nice to be able to separate different types of things. Okay, next, we filmed a video when I started, but back then I only had 3 blocks to share. This is the half square triangle scrap quilt that I'm working on right now, and we filmed a video, as I mentioned, with these first 3 blocks. And ever since then I've been sharing 2 new PDFs each Friday for the patterns that you can, it's just basically the layout so that you can make it yourself. And there is also a pattern though for this quilt if you want to just get the pattern and go for it. And the pattern does have 2 different quilt finishing options and blocks with 2 different sizes. I'm doing 2-inch finished half square triangles. And anyway, let me just show you all the rest of the blocks that I've made since then. It's been super fun to see all the different layouts you can do with just half square triangles. And by, you know, positioning them in different directions and using the colors in different ways, I have gotten myself into a little routine where every week I work on trimming up some half square triangles, and then on Saturday I've been sewing the blocks, and then I have kind of a large amount of half square triangles to choose from. What you're seeing now is mostly Strawberry Lemonade and Laguna Sunrise fabrics, because I just had so many extra half square triangles from those collections. But there are some earlier collections in here as well too. And this is everything actually up through last Friday. So I'm up to 15 blocks now. There are going to be 10 more, and I am going to come up with a really fun setting idea for this that is different from the 2 settings in the pattern. So I'm super excited to be working on this. Okay, next up, Moda blockheads. You've probably seen a lot of these. I'm not going to show all of them. Lately there have been a couple of foundation paper piece blocks that I decided not to do, so I'm going to have to come up with some extra blocks at the end. But this is the most recent block. This was actually from last Wednesday, and it looks really tricky with the diamonds, but it was really simple to do. You use strip piecing for it. The pattern went together really well. I love how my large block and my smaller block turned out. It's been a few weeks since I shared blocks, so I probably haven't shared at least a couple of them. This one was from Lisa Alexander, and I know this one was from Vanessa Christensen of V&Co. I know I shared these back for the April, but I'm not sure. I think this one is the double star from Joanna Figueroa. And going back, I'm not quite sure on all of these, but I'm pretty sure that you've seen. I'll just show a couple more. I'm pretty sure you've seen all of these. So just really, really loving working on the Moda blockheads. So the one that just shared on Wednesday, the diamonds that I just mentioned, this was block 20. So there are 10 more. A lot of people have been asking, how many are there going to be? There are going to be 10 more, but again, that is just 20 in the second set. We had all the blocks that were part of this that we did before the end of the year. So there's actually over 40 something blocks. So anyway, I'm going to have to decide how I'm going to put these together. This is going to be a really, really nice scrap quilt. And my fabrics have all been either Strawberry Lemonade or Laguna Sunrise. Okay, I mentioned some things behind the scenes that I can't really share. Actually, this quilt wasn't made by me. This one was made by Nancy Lane, and I actually have shared this. We had it hanging up for one of our podcasts. This is the cover quilt for our book that Chelsea and I are doing with Fat Quarter Shop, and you can pre-order it now. I'll have that pre-order link in the description below. This is my other quilt that is in the book, and I pieced this one myself, and it was quilted by Miriam Bott. I also pieced a third quilt for the book that is one of Chelsea's designs, and she's actually got that at her house right now. And then there's a fourth quilt that Chelsea pieced. We've been just working really hard behind the scenes on these quilts, and there are some pillows in the book as well. So more on that coming soon, but it's taken up a lot of my time, especially binding. I did the binding on all 4 quilts. Okay, and now on the table, I am super excited to talk about this. I'm going to share a quick story about this. We actually did mention this on the podcast once. Shortly before 9/11, we had new neighbors move in across the street, and the dad, the husband, was an airline pilot. And great family. We have continued to be friends with them, even though we've moved twice, actually, since we knew them, or since we were across the street neighbors. Anyway, unfortunately, because of 9/11, he was a pilot, and he was laid off for actually several years, and did some other things, actually ended up flying some smaller planes, but he had a lot of time on his hands, and they had a large family, and they had a lot of jeans in tubs in their garage, and he started making denim quilts, and just mostly patchwork. But as he kept making the quilts, he actually started playing around with different designs. And at the time, we had kids that went from 6 to 15, and we had a lot of extra denim. So I thought, hey, you know, Robert's across the street making these denim quilts. I'm going to get rid of our denim. And so I took him a large tub of denim, and that year for Christmas that he was doing this, and I can't remember if it was 2002 or somewhere around then. Anyway, he gifted us this beautiful denim quilt, and he had, you know, done these equilateral triangles, and this was made with all of my family's jeans. And this is, we've actually got it folded in half. This quilt is about 95 by 95. It's a big quilt. It was in my closet for years. I didn't want to tie it, but I couldn't find anyone who would quilt it with a long arm. And so it just stayed in my closet. And our friends recently found someone, because they actually have about 15 of these quilts that he made, and they had never quilted them, and they were just in their closets for all these years. He found someone who would do long arm quilting, and they told me about it, and I said, oh, I've got to get mine quilted. So they were heading in up to St. George to get some of theirs quilted, and they've been taking this woman a couple at a time. And so anyway, they took mine up there, and I was able to pay for the quilting, and I just told her I want some big swirls. You know, you don't need a ton of quilting with a denim quilt. I put a Primitive Gatherings flannel on the back, and so excited. This is what I'm going to use. I'm going to use this fabric, which is from our Simply Delightful collection, for the binding. I'm going to be going through a layer of denim and a layer of flannel, so I wanted to just use a cotton fabric for my binding, but really, really excited to have this quilt that's been in my closet for over 20 years, have it finished up. It's going to be a great picnic quilt, I feel like, or a camp quilt, or a quilt for when it's really cold. So that's what I'm working on. We do have new sample yardage for an upcoming collection arriving any day, so I'm going to be trying to keep up with all these things and sewing some secret projects through the end of May and throughout the month of June that we'll be sharing with you in July, so stay tuned. Okay, so that's it for my May works in progress. I'm hoping to have even some more things to share with you next month that I talked about in April that I didn't quite get to this month because of all the deadlines. But I'm super happy with what I got done. I feel like I did a little sewing just for me that I'd had on my list for a while, and also that big long-term project that finally is going to get finished. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it with a friend, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.